Hello, everyone. Hawkthany Tuah here, internet's busiest music nerd. Now, weird setup we got going on. Um, yeah, I don't know. I want to start doing videos for these entries where I'm just in my room doing some random shit or like just talking about stuff. Like when I have a plan to talk about something rather than just being in my car. But you know, country boys make do. Um, but today, you read the title right. I have listened to the first two episodes of the Talk to a podcast. And I paid attention to the entire thing, to all of it, everything. It's, it was something, you know? But honestly, if I'm being for real, it honestly wasn't the worst thing in the world. Like, there is worse shit that I could have watched, could have seen, and honestly, it was not that bad. Um, Starting off with episode 1, it had Haley Welch, who is the Hawk to a girl, and then it also had her friend Chelsea, I believe her name is, who was in the original Hawk to a video, and as well as a stand-up comedian, Whitney Cummings, and I believe Haley's manager, Jamie, some dude named Jamie. But honestly, the first episode, kind of a nothing burger. I mean, like I mean, like podcasts are just like people talking, so it's kind of hard for me to say like it was just a normal podcast episode. I'm gonna be so real, guys. It was literally just like although it felt more like the Whitney Cummings podcast featuring Haley Welch rather than the Talk to a podcast with Haley Welch featuring Whitney Cummings. That's how it felt. Because, like, Whitney the entire time was just, like, she honestly was talking for, like, the entire time. And, like, Haley would throw in some words every now and then. But it was, like, I don't know, dude. They were talking about, like, like how you should have your pubic hair not shaved, and that I don't know, dude. It literally was like kind of like a nothing burger. Like, I mean, people have probably seen the clip of somebody saying like shit on that thing, and then Whitney Cummings like dabbing or whatever. Literally after that clip cuts off, Chelsea is like, "Did you just dab?" Like literally just like questions Whitney, like, "Did you just dab?" And it's like, yeah. It's Chelsea doesn't say much during the episode. Jamie says a little bit, trying to like put in his 2 cents. And honestly, I would say the people who talk the most in episode 1 of Talk To with Haley Welch was Whitney Cummings and the manager Jamie. Chelsea maybe said like a sentence. Haley kind of just made some comments. From the first episode, it really seemed like Haley wasn't really like. I still think Haley, because like Haley has not had any social media or anything. Like she has just started getting onto it, getting on social media and everything. And I think she's kind of now starting to realize like she needs to have a brain more geared towards that. And also, it kind of felt predatory a little bit while watching the first episode, where it kind of seemed like this is more not Haley's idea of, it's more someone else kind of pulling the strings. And like, I don't want to make any call outs here, but I'm going to make a call out. Uneducated guess. I can do whatever I want. I kind of feel like that not Haley's being taken advantage of. I just hope that she's not getting taken advantage of, because she has like this whole, brand new start of being the Hawk Tuah girl, literally blowing up overnight, and I think she's getting like some like show on like TLC or some shit. And she has a podcast, and she's like being guests on like other shows. I don't know. I don't have any disrespect or discourse, or I don't know, whatever word I'm trying to say. I don't have any ill feelings towards Haley. I honestly, from what I've seen, she seems like a fun person to be around. She seems like a genuine human being. She's naturally charismatic, so the show it wasn't boring. That was the one thing I was afraid of, is I thought it was going to be actually really fucking boring, and I was going to want to blow my brains out the entire time. But it wasn't. Honestly, the thing that I didn't like the most was Whitney Cummings, just because she has this kind of like millennial-esque, like, I don't know, like millennial Gen X, like Gen Z too soft type of thing. Like there's a moment where they start talking about like trauma, and she does use the, not you but your generation, talking about Haley, like referring to Haley and saying how like everyone in your generation uses, like, puts their trauma and it excuses them from doing certain things. And it's like, dog, like, come on, no need to do that. You don't need to do that. I thought she was like, she had some funny jokes in there. Like, she's a comedian. She had some funnies in there. Jamie also had some funnies, but like, I don't know. It was just kind of like, it felt whatever. So going into the second episode, I was kind of like, I was kind of not really looking forward to it. But second episode, I was pleasantly surprised. It was no longer in a fancy schmancy podcast studio that I think was like Jamie's studio or something. We were on Hawk Tuah Girl's front porch on a cow farm, and she was chilling there with a bottle of wine in her hand with like three of who I would assume were her best friends. And I enjoyed the second episode a lot more than the first episode, because the second episode was just her and her friends, and they were just shooting the shit, and they were just talking, and it was just friends being friends. And honestly, I feel like that's what a podcast really should be, and like, you can have guests on and stuff like that, but like the first episode felt like Whitney Cummings was interviewing, Haley, which I feel like it should be the opposite, but like I said, I don't think Haley really has like the podcasting mindset, I think that's what it is. But second episode, I enjoyed a lot more because it felt more natural, and it felt like Haley was more comfortable in her environment, and she was just talking to her friends and just like shooting the shit. And there was even a portion in time where they like cut from the podcast like towards the end, and they were just like driving around, like going to fucking Taco Bell and shit, and getting like Baja Blast freezes. And I'm like, dude, that's like literally like, that's me shit. That's shit I would do. Like and it felt a lot more natural. It didn't feel kind of like this forced like podcasting setup. So, and also Granny, the grandma, made an appearance. Shout out Granny. That's all I gotta say. We love Granny. Granny is a hoot and a holler, guys. Let me tell you. Okay, final verdict. What would I rate the Talk to a podcast with Haley Welch? I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. I don't think it's shit. It was partially enjoyable. I don't think like Haley should deserve any hate or anything. She's not really even getting hate. at least from what I've seen, I don't think I've seen her getting hate. I don't think she should. There's no reason to, you know. I just think, you know, I hope that as time goes on, it gets more enriching to watch, you know, rather than just like, I don't know, I don't know how to explain what I'm saying. I hope that it gets more enriching that I don't necessarily know how much longevity this podcast is going to have. It's kind of hard to say. You know, it's a brand new thing. It's pretty fresh. I think maybe, who knows, I might do an update. I might do a Talk to a podcast update in like, I don't know, whenever like the 5th episode comes out, if there even is a 5th episode. Because y'all remember the Nikocado Avocado podcast with Oopaville? Excuse me. The Nikocado Avocado podcast with Oopaville. That shit only lasted like 2 episodes, you know. Check out this cool jersey. Check it out. It's a black Red Wings jersey. I got a hat with cat ears on it. Alright, that's it. Goodbye, guys.
Been feeling like Batman this whole fucking song.
What are you saying?
Okay.
Get over here! This is that whole scaring wave. Mama, this isn't no phase. Taking me back to those days. Learned my lesson by fucking with some big flirts. Knew she capping when she hit me with the waterworks. I was done being silent like some damn clerks. No, I was to give a heart, so I done learned. Dreaming about living in the hills with the sunshine. Just wanna live free in the summertime. Thank them they for giving me divine light. Sleeping good while my shit blowing up in the nighttime. I'ma be bowling with a couple mil. I'm so real, honing my skills, and we gonna feel so good afterwards. Never understood what I would do.